What is up, y'all? I'm Benjamin Outdoors, and this is my channel.
Welcome back, y'all. So I'm working on the S1000 again, and I'm so close to getting it roadworthy. All I have to do is swap out the rear rim for the new one. Tomorrow I'm actually going to take it to my job, swap the good tire over to the new rim, and then put it onto the bike. Then the shifter linkage for the quick shifter, that was damaged, and I ordered a new one and it came in. So I can put that on, and over there you can see a gray tank. I got a new tank for it because I really don't want to bother with trying to repair it. This is probably repairable. I could probably do it with enough hours, but I don't want to bother with it. So I actually went to the paint store and actually bought some paint and a flake that I'm going to put into the paint. And I'm super excited for that paint job. It's not going to be gold because there's no way I'm going to match a chrome gold. And if I don't like it, I can always put the chrome gold cover on it, but I just don't like covers. Anyway, that is not going to be in this video, but that's going to be for the next video. Anyway, hopefully at the end of this video I'll be able to ride this thing, because that's really the rim and the shifter linkage, and then I think my steering stem head bearing is actually loose. Hopefully it's just loose. Now I'm debating whether to replace it or not because it's got 60K on it. I'm going to tighten it up and see how it does. If it tightens up and it's firm and there's no wiggle, then I might just ride it and see how it does. And then if I feel like it's worn out, I might do an inspection on it too and see if it's worn out. And if it is, then I'll probably just replace it. It's like 30 bucks, 35 bucks for a head bearing. But anyway, let's get into it. So it looks like this is a 34 mil, and I only have a 36 and a 32, so I'll probably have to go to the store to get a 34 before I put this back on. But hopefully this 36 will just loosen it up enough. Yeah, I can loosen it up with this 36. Now I'm going to, what the heck? 13 mil? Freaking Germans. Now I'm going to slide the axle out. With a little bit of help. Golly. Take the chain off. Pull the brake to the side. Comes the sprocket. We got the rim off, and we're gonna be able to pull this off the rim and put the tire on the new rim, because this tire's still good.
So I ended up purchasing a new tire for the S1000 wheel because I damaged the other one on this machine. Now, before y'all say, oh, why are you doing it again? Well, I was going to take it to somebody that was nearby, but they ended up apparently changing locations. So I'm on my lunch break and it's Friday and I really want to get this bike rolling. And I was really wanting to test ride the bike this weekend, and so I had to get this done. And like I said, the guy that was nearby ended up moving locations to like 30 minutes away, so I couldn't do it on my lunch break. So I took a risk and decided to do it again myself. This time, when it got to the same point where it's binding up, where I damaged it last time, I was just able to push down really far over here and it released some of the tension over there. So I was able to gently creep it up as I was pushing down, and it was able to seat the bead, thankfully, because I was terrified of ruining this $130 tire. So now I'm going to pull this out, pull it out of the jaws, pull all the cardboard out, and I'm gonna seat it. Let's try it. There we go. So I got it at 40. So when I pull this off and pop the valve stem back in, it'll probably go down to like 35.
All right, so we got the wheel back here, and I'm gonna make sure all the cush drive is in here, and then try on the hub. So there is some slack in the hub and the cush drive. So I'm gonna take some really thin pieces of rubber that I cut out and see if I can fit them in here without having any issues. Oh yeah. Oh, that's perfect. There's absolutely no slack in that whatsoever. But apparently these S1000s had a huge issue with the cush drives going bad, at least in the really new ones. They come from the factory with bad cush drives. So I figured I'd try to solve this issue now before I even get this thing on the road. Slide it all the way up. So I sprayed the axle with degreaser and already wiped it off because I had a hard time getting it out of the other wheel. But now I'm going to slap some wheel bearing and hub grease on it, so it will not seize up in this wheel, or at least hopefully. So I had this spacer on the actual hub. Slide the caliper into place. Now I'm gonna put the nut and everything back on the other side. Lock it down. So I got the shifter linkage, and I also got the sensor for the quick shifter, which he said was bad, and I didn't need it anyway. But I paid 60 bucks for this, which is more than I wanted to pay, but it is what it is. So I'm gonna cut this one loose. This sensor I hope should be good, but I'm gonna pull it off here. So I had to use a wrench because it was stuck on there pretty good. I'm gonna feed it through the hole in the frame. Spin it onto the sensor. Now I'm actually going to put a dab of blue Loctite on this bolt. Slide it through the ball socket. It probably actually needs to be extended a little bit. So this way you can just spin it. And this is reverse thread, this is regular thread, so it'll extend or...
So that should be pretty good. When you upshift, it does not hit anything. Well, it's also not tight up here, so tighten the bolt up here. Now we're gonna run the sensor back up into its plug right here. It's good. Got the sensor out of the way of anywhere near the chain. I'm gonna probably zip tie this up here a little bit better out of the way. It's good. I think technically I could ride this if I had a fuel pump in a tank. Got the tank over there getting prepped for paint, but everything else is pretty good. I mean, new rim, new tire, chain's tight, even though it's probably, you know, shouldn't be driven on that chain. I have to order a new one, but I also have to tighten the nut up here, hopefully. Tightening the top nut underneath the upper triple will tighten up that wobble. So I bought new rear sets, so I'm gonna slap these puppies on. These are actually really nice. They're like matte or semi-gloss. So I'm gonna put all the hardware on and then we're gonna throw them on. So I get this one put together. Now I'm just gonna do this one. So all you gotta do is really take the peg, put the spring in, push the ball in, put this over, and then slide it in to the peg, and then slide the pin through and put the clip on. I'm gonna stop swapping out these subframe bolts. Blue Loctite. All right, so the bike is suspended, and when I pull the front suspension forward, I can feel it move a little bit. So I pulled the nut off the other day, and I'm going to disconnect the upper triple tree right here, just these bolts right here, and it should pop right off. I'm gonna try to record this, see if I can capture it. It's kind of hard to see, but there is that movement. I'm gonna try to take my adjustable spanner tool to try to tighten this up, and if that doesn't work, I'll have to use a punch.
So I tried tightening it up, and unfortunately, there was no change. So it looks like after 60,000 miles, it just wore out. So I'm probably gonna have to buy a new bearing kit. But until then, catch you on the flip side.